Welcome back. Imagine someone asks you a simple business question: which provider treated John Smith and how much was billed? The information already exists in the database, but unless you know how the data is connected, finding the answer can be surprisingly difficult. That's where SQL comes in this lesson. We'll work with three related tables: members, providers, and claims, and learn how SQL brings information from different tables together to answer real business questions. By the end of this lesson, you will understand not only how to retrieve related data, but why relational databases are so powerful. Let's get started. Imagine your manager walks over and says, "Can you show me the claims with highest billing amounts?" The data is already in the database, but without any order, the largest claim could be at the top, the middle, or the very bottom of thousands of records. That's not very helpful. This is exactly why SQL provides the order by clause. By sorting the results, we can immediately focus on the information that matters most. Notice how the same data appears in both tables. Nothing has changed except the order in which the rows are displayed. That simple capability makes reports easier to read, trends easier to identify, and business decisions much faster. Now that we understand why sorting is useful, let us learn the most common type of sort: ascending order. Ascending means arranging values from the smallest to the largest. For text values, it means arranging them alphabetically from A to Z. Imagine your manager asks you to list all the providers alphabetically. Without sorting, the names appear in whatever order they were entered into the database. That makes them harder to scan. By adding the ascending keyword, that's the ASC keyword, after order by, SQL automatically rearranges the results into alphabetical order. One important thing to remember is that ASC or ascending is actually SQL's default sort order. That means you can write either order by provider name or order by provider name ASC, and both produces exactly the same result. Now let's look at the opposite of ascending order. It is a descending order, or DESC. While ASC or ascending arranges data from the smallest value to the largest, descending does exactly the opposite. It sorts the results from the largest value to the smallest, or from G to A. When working with the text, imagine your manager asks, "Show me the claims with highest billing amounts first." If the data is not sorted, the largest claim should be anywhere in the list. You might have to scan through hundreds or even thousands of records before finding it. By using the descending keyword, SQL immediately places the highest amount at the top of the results, allowing you to focus on the information that matters most. Notice that data itself has not changed. The same claims are still written. SQL has simply rearranged the order so the large amounts appears first. This is especially useful when you are looking for the highest sales, largest insurance claims, newest transactions, top performing products, or any situation where the biggest or most recent values deserve immediate attention. One important point, remember, is that unlike ascending, descending is not the default sort order. If you want your result displayed from largest to smallest, you must explicitly include descending keyword in your SQL statement. Think of descending as SQL's way of bringing the biggest, newest, or most important information right at the top. Now, sorting by multiple columns. So far, we have sorted our results using single column, but in real world databases, that often is not enough. Imagine your manager asks, show me the newest claims first. If multiple claims have the same date, shows the highest claim amount first. A single sort cannot completely answer that request because several claims may share the same date. This is where sorting by multiple columns become extremely useful. SQL always works from left to right in the order by class. First, it sorts the data using the first column. In this example, that's a claim date descending, which places the newest claims at the top. Then SQL looks for the rows that have the same date. Those rows are tied because the first sorts cannot separate them. To break the tie, SQL moves to the second column, amount descending, and places the highest claim amount before the lower one. Notice the claim dated March 1st, 2024 because they have the same date. SQL compares their amount. The 1400 claim appears before 980 claim, creating logical and meaningful order. This approach allows us to build reports that are organized exactly the way the business needs them. As your SQL skills grow, you will discover that sorting by multiple columns is one of the most common techniques used in the dashboards, financial reports, operational reporting, and data analysis. Remember this simple rule. SQL sorts by the first column first. If rows are tied, it uses the second column. If they are still tied, it moves on to third and so on and so forth. Combining where and order by. So far we have learned how to filter data using where clause and how to organize the results using order by. In real business scenarios, we often use both together. Imagine your manager asks, show me only PPO claims sorted from the highest claim amount to the lowest. To answer that request, SQL performs two separate steps. First, the where clause filters the data. It removes every row that does not belong to the PPO plan, leaving us with only the records we care about. Once the filtering is complete, order by takes over. It sorts only the remaining PPO claims, placing the highest claim amount at the top of the list. Notice that SQL never sorts the entire table first. It always filters the data before sorting it. That is an important concept because it makes queries more efficient, ensures you are organizing only the records you actually want to see. Whenever you combine these two clauses, remember this simple sequence. Filter first, then sort. Finally, display the result. Think like a SQL. First decide what data you need, then decide how you want to see it. Combining join and order by. So far, we have learned two powerful SQL skills. First, we learned how join combines information from multiple tables into a single result. Then we learned how order by organizes the result so it is easier to read and analyze. Now let us use both together. Imagine your manager asks, show me every claim along with the member's name and plan type, then sort the results by the claim amount from highest to lowest. To answer that question, SQL performs two important tasks. First, the join clause combines the claim table with the member table by matching the member ID in each table. That gives us additional information such as the member's name and plan type alongside each claim. Once the data has been combined into a single result set, order by organizes those rows by amount in descending order by placing the highest claim amount at the top. Notice that order by does not care whether a column originally came from the claim table or the member table. After the tables are joined, SQL treats that combined result as one complete data set and can sort by any column in that result. That's where common pattern in real world reporting, because business information is rarely stored in just one table. We often combine data from several related tables and organize the result to answer specific business questions. Think of join as gathering the information and order by as organizing it so people can understand it quickly. Common order by mistakes and how to fix them. Let us learn that. Throughout this lesson, we have learned how to sort data using the order by class, but even experienced SQL developers occasionally make mistakes. The good news is that most order by errors are easy to recognize and even easier to fix once you understand the cause of it. One common mistake is forgetting to specify descending, and you actually want the highest values first. Remember, SQL uses ascending order by default. So if you don't specify descending, your result may not appear the way you expect. Another common issue is sorting by wrong column name or forgetting to use the correct table alias after joining tables. SQL can only sort by columns that exist in the result or referenced correctly. You will also want to remember the order in which SQL processes a query. SQL does not sort data first. It first combines tables with join, filter rows with where if needed, and only then applies order by. So it joins first, filter rows with where clause if needed, and only then applies order by. Another situation to watch for it: when numbers are sorted as a text, instead of sorting numerically, SQL sorts them alphabetically, which can produce unexpected results. Whenever possible, store numeric values using the correct numeric data type. Finally, when multiple rows contain the same value, consider adding second sorting column as a tiebreaker. This produces consistent, predictable results every time the query runs. If you remember just one thing from this slide, let it be this: always verify three things before running your query. Am I sorting the correct column? Am I using the correct sorting direction? Do I need a second column to break ties? Those three quick checks will prevent most order by mistakes you will encounter. Great, SQL is not just about getting results, it is about getting the right results in the right order every time. Now let us take a look at the complete business example. Let's put all the things together. Throughout the lesson, we have learned several important SQL skills. Now it's the time to bring them together to solve a real business problem. Imagine your manager asks, show all PPO claims greater than $500, include the member's name, plan type, claim date, and claim amount. Then sort the newest columns claims first, and if two claims have the same date, show the higher amount first. This is not something we can solve with a single SQL clause. We need to combine several SQL concepts, each with specific purpose. First, we use join to combine the claim table with the member table. This gives us additional information such as the member's name and plan type. Next, we use the where clause to keep only the rows we need. In this case, we filter for members in the PPO plan and claims with amount greater than $500. Finally, we use order by to organize the result. We first sort by claim date in descending order so the newest claims appear first. Then two claims may share the same date. We use amount descending as a tiebreaker. So the larger claim appears before the smaller one. Notice how each SQL clause has a specific responsibility. At the beginning of this lesson, we started with a simple business question. Now look at what you are able to do. You can combine tables, filter exactly the data you need, organize it professionally, and deliver the report that answer a real business question. That's exactly what SQL professionals do every day. Working together, these classes transform raw data into clear, business-ready report that answers manager question. Before we finish, remember the simple SQL workflow. Whenever you write SQL, join to bring related data together. Where to keep only the rows you need. Order by to organize the final results. Select to return report that's easy to understand. When you think through your query one step at a time, even complex business questions become manageable. SQL is not about memorizing commands, it is about asking the right business question and using the right tools to answer it. This is what SQL is all about. We started with the business question, applied the right SQL tools in the right order, and produced a clear, meaningful answer. Now you can now sort data like a pro. Congratulations, you have completed another important milestone in your SQL journey. When we began this lesson, sorting data may have seemed like a simple task, but you have discovered that order by is much more than arranging the rows alphabetically or numerically. It's a powerful tool for presenting information in a way that supports better business decisions. Let's quickly review what we have learned. You have learned how to sort the data in ascending and descending order. You learned how to sort by multiple columns, allowing SQL to break ties and create meaningful organized reports. You learned how where and order by work together, first filtering the data, then sorting only the remaining rows. You also learned how to combine, join, and order by to organize information from multiple tables, just even in real business environments. Finally, we looked at some of common mistakes and how to avoid them, helping you write SQL that is accurate, reliable, and easy to understand. These are practical skills you will use again and again and again when working with the databases, dashboards, reports, and data analysis projects. Looking ahead, in our next lesson, we'll build on everything you have learned here by exploring group by and aggregate functions. Instead of organizing individual rows, you will learn how to summarize data, calculate totals, averages, counts, and answer even bigger business questions. The final thing, as with any new skill, confidence comes through practice. The more SQL queries you write, the more natural these concepts will become. Don't be afraid to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from them. Every experienced SQL developer started exactly where you are today. Remember, SQL is not about writing queries, it is about transforming raw data into information and information into better decisions. Thank you for spending time with data with Srinivas. Thank you very much.